Buenos días, clase. O buenas tardes. ¿Quién me falta? Todos. Qué triste. Okay, class, for today, as I mentioned in a previous video, trying to get a couple of the basics together that students would traditionally learn in a Spanish 1 classroom. So this can only reinforce your learning. Those of you that I have in Spanish 2 or Spanish 3, if you go back and get more solid in the basics, it really does help you moving forward. Obviously, having a good foundation is the beginning of all good things, right? All right, so for today, we're going to be talking about direct articles, also known as the in Spanish, and indirect articles, also known as a and some in Spanish. These are really important to get to know because in Spanish, different than English, we just have the for everything. Spanish, words are masculine or feminine, kind of a difficult concept for us to get our head wrapped around here in the US, right? We don't think of it as one way or another, but in Spanish they do. So it's important for us to make sure that our article is in alignment with our noun so that we can write our sentences properly. All right, so let's take a look. We're going to start with direct articles. So in English, we just have the word the. In Spanish, we take the word the and we kind of just blow it up into 4 different things. We have el, we have la, we have los, and las. Notice you have 4 different ways of saying the. Kind of complicated life a little bit. Also to note, there is no accent mark here. All right. As I mentioned in a previous video, if there's an accent here, then you're actually saying he. So you don't want to do that. All right. So things need to correlate. I want you to see this side of the chart is singular. This side of the chart is plural. This up here is masculine. This down here is feminine. All right. So what exactly does that mean? So if we take a word like niño, okay, that's boy. Most words are going to give you, or most nouns, I should say, are going to end in a or in o. So it kind of gives us a thing, or gives us a little warning here to tell us this is masculine. So this would be the boy, would be el niño. Now, if we had multiple boys, then we would have los niños. Okay, so notice we went to os here. When the goes plural, your noun also needs to be plural. Everything needs to correlate nice and neat. Okay, same with our feminine. If you have a flower, now about to break the little rule here. Flower, la flor, oh my goodness, ends in an R, okay? And las flores, okay? So feminine, singular, feminine, plural has to line up. Very, very important, all right? So again, this is saying the in Spanish. So this is, I go to the library and I want the science book. I'm very specific, therefore direct. I know exactly what I want and I'm calling it out. Now, the flip side of that are our indirect articles. So let's take a look at those. Our indirect articles are un, una, unos, and unas. All right, these are our indirects. Okay, notice here, it's not uno, it's un. If you say uno, that actually means just one, all right? The number one. Versus here, what we've got going on, this part of the chart is saying a, or it's saying an, and over here, we're saying some. Whoops, some. All right? So that's what these are. They're not direct, right? It's indirect. So I'm going to go to the library for a book. I'm not being specific. I'm going to hang out with some friends. I'm not calling out their names. I'm not being specific, right? Also, again, you've got the masculine and you have the feminine. You have the singular and you have the plural. Remember, with Spanish, you have to align with whatever your noun is. All right, so let's take a look at some examples really quickly. So if I want to say, I have a cat. Okay, I'm saying a cat, so therefore tengo un gato. Notice it's not uno. I chose this masculine example for a reason. So tengo un gato, all right? But if I have multiple cats, the verb stays the same. I have tengo unos gatos. Notice plural, plural. Spanish likes to be matchy-matchy. So we want to make sure that our articles match our handy-dandy nouns. So not super exciting of a lesson, but just really, really important. Make sure you do go back and review. Becomes more important later to know what the articles are, mainly because when we start working with indirect object pronouns or direct object pronouns, you really do need to know if the word is masculine or feminine. I'm also going to give you some clues. If a word ends in C-I-O-N, that's always feminine. If a word ends in dad, like ciudad, also feminine. All right. So these are some clues for you. So if you see that they end in these combinations, you know they're always feminine. All right. I guess that's pretty much it on our direct articles and indirect articles. Not a huge lesson, but just very important to make sure you write the correct the or a or an or some when you're writing in Spanish. Again, it gets more important as we go forward to direct object pronouns and indirect object pronouns, making sure we're accurate with the articles. Okay, clase, no fun song for this one to attach, but you can find this on my website as well. And there are some practice exercises there, and I think some Senor Jordan videos also that you can look into. Okay, clase, adios, and goodbye for now.